Hi, I'm back. It's the John Guinn Travel Show on ukhealthradio.com, and it's all new stuff, well, especially today because, well, you'll find out in a little while. But I had a little break during July. I'm a little bit refreshed, and I'm ready to go again for perhaps another 4 years. Who knows? But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed the repeat shows while I took a break and you found some holiday destinations you may not have thought about and are probably booking up right now. But while I was away, I was actually working on a travel story, which I was going to do today. I was looking into alcohol and air rage, and I sent on various Freedom of Information requests and contacted various people, chased the CAA for some figures. Imagine how happy I was when the government made an announcement last week about looking into alcohol sales at airports and how alcohol can cause air rage. All the facts and figures I was going to break out to everybody have all been in the papers, so I didn't see much point in continuing with the story, unfortunately. Although this has made me a little bit paranoid, because was the announcement due to all my questions? Was I digging somewhere and somebody went, "Oh, look at this, let's get something out quick"? Probably not. But it was upsetting to see a journalist mention figures I spent ages trying to get out of the CAA. But never mind. This has led me to investigate another airport-related issue, and I hope to have more on it last week. I will say in a moment that my questions gave the press office at Luton Airport a good laugh. It may not come to anything, but I'll let you know next week. Anyway, on with the show. There's no guest this week. August it seems to be when the whole of the PR people in the travel world go away on holiday, so nobody's available, which is great because I have plenty to cover from when I found while I was away. So this week is a mix of travel news and views, and it's all going to be my voice. Hopefully it's not going to bore the tears out of you, but there is some great interesting stuff, such as how your dog can influence your holiday, jet lag. It got very scientific, so I'm probably going to wimp out at the end and just give you a link to look at. Cheap USA destinations, holiday costs, and just to jump on the bandwagon, I'm going to be talking about Pokemon as well. But first of all, let's just talk about me. It's my show. It's all about me. And I finally booked my holiday for this year. I was looking at going to the Azores to go whale watching and going to Aruba for the first time. I've featured Aruba on my show a couple of times. And it is a destination I really want to go to. But there's only one non-stop flight from the UK, and that's with Thompson. So I was asking Thompson a few questions. I couldn't get any answers, and a 10-hour flight, and you can't cover everything you want to know about before you hand over the money. I thought, no, I walked away. But it's a shame because it did take a little while to find a hotel in Aruba that would give me a vegan meal plan. But never mind. Oh, the other thing was it's an adult family split resort, and I obviously want to be in the adult only, not having any kids of my own, want some peace and quiet. And again, I couldn't guarantee I'd have that until I gave the company my money, and if I didn't like what they gave me, they wouldn't give me my money back. Sometimes the hospitality trade isn't great. So I looked into booking an old favourite of ours, this St James's Club in Antigua, and talking about companies that aren't very helpful, I contacted the UK's representatives of the hotel chain that owns St James's, and I asked if I could have a vegan meal plan. Why not? I mean, I'm only going for a week, but I don't want to live on leftover buffet for 7 nights, just having lettuce and cucumber, which is what basically this representative suggested I do. It's not the first time I come across that. A hotel in the Maldives said exactly the same thing. Yes, we'll take all your money, but you just have to live on scraps. Not for me, not when I go away. But luckily, because I used to be a travel agent, I've got a little black book. And within 2 hours, the head chef at the hotel come back to me and said, a vegan meal plan is no problem. And we've already planned the first night meal, and then we're going to have a chat once I get there and do the rest. So I'm sorted. My wife's got loads of vegan friends on Facebook, and one's away on holiday at the minute, and the food is awful. But she didn't plan ahead, she didn't ask the question, she just booked and assumed that somebody would look after her. And that's not the case. They just want everybody to be the same, because then it's a lot easier for them and it's a lot easier to make money. But if I'd been a normal punter, I would have taken that phone call from the UK office of the hotel chain and just gone, okay, I'll go somewhere else. So if you are looking for something like a meal plan or special assistance or whatever, if you've run into trouble trying to find a contact for the people you need to arrange this, just let me know, facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show, and I'll look into it. After all, that's what I did for 10 years. But anyway, I do have some pleas for hotels which hopefully will improve their service. Number 1, food, obviously. Could you offer flexible and affordable food options? My brother-in-law was a head chef, and the markup, he said, for food is huge. It's enough to bring tears to your eyes when you think about how small the margins are as a travel agent and you see these whopping great margins for the food industry. So hotels make a lot of money from serving food with expensive prices with a very limited range of options. So they can just buy it all in and then just chuck the same stuff out. As I'd already mentioned numerous of times, and probably for the rest of the next show, 4 years, whatever, I'm a vegan and I don't want to eat on the leftover buffet bits. So please make it easy for those who are awkward like me or have medical conditions to choose options that are varied, because nobody wants to have the same meal for 7 nights. Also, have cheap options on the menu for those on a tight budget. Don't just have high range stuff, have cheap, cheerful bits of food which people can still go out, be in the restaurant part, enjoy the atmosphere, but don't feel like they just have to have soup and a cracker. This number 2 is basically from the hotel I was looking at in the Azores. Please have a decent usable map on of your location on your website. The hotel suggested by the tour operator for the Azores was only a few months old, and the map was hopeless when you're trying to find out exactly where the hotel is and where all the restaurants and whatnot are in relation to it. It's not useful. It doesn't take long. It's quite easy. Even I can do it. Remember, hotels, this is point number 3, not everybody drinks tea or coffee. I don't. I never have, apart from when I'm being forced. So please offer soft drinks such as squashes for those who are thirsty but don't want a hot cup or whatever. And number 4, while I'm at it, water. If I can't drink the tap water, please supply plenty of bottled water. Again, I don't boil water for a hot drink because I don't have hot drinks. So a few bottles on the shelf, lukewarm water's fine, doesn't have to be chilled. I just want to have something to drink, just like the people who like to drink tea and coffee. Number 5, and I'm sure you've all had this too, have an electronic door key that holds the information on it for longer than the walk from reception to the room. How many times have we gone backwards and forwards trying to get into a hotel room because the card has lost the information? And doing this is no fun when you've just had a long flight to get to the hotel. And finally, for my hotel rant, number 6, free internet. Do I need to say any more? I do realise, Mr. Hotel owners, that pay-per-view films, especially the X-rated ones, are an extra source of income for the hotel. But seriously, how much will you lose if you charge a little more per room to cover the internet fee and just forget about the pay-per-view films? And by the way, a couple, especially me and my wife, may have 5 or 6 gizmos between us that use Wi-Fi. So don't limit the amount of devices you can use for your password to 2 or 3. That's really not useful. There's a lot of faffing about, deregistering and registering and then going backwards and forwards. You're listening to The Travel Show with John Guinn on ukhealthradio.com. So this week's show is all about my personal rants and some travel news from various providers such as Post Office and Expedia, talking about what to see and do if it's raining in various American cities. To be honest, the press release was more about people who lived in these cities and what to do, but I've tweaked it slightly for those who are on holiday there. And I'll also be talking about how your dog can influence where you stay. So, over the last 4 years of the travel show, I've always been advising that you should never renew your passport over the summer months. The demand is high and strikes seem to be a regular summer occurrence. My passport for my trip and I had enough life left in it for the Azores or Aruba, but unfortunately not for Antigua. I wanted to use the express one-day service at the Victoria Passport Office to make sure I had my replacement in time for my holiday. And it's a nice little day out and you go a bit of shopping. But it does ramp the price up. So I chatted to 2 different sub-postmasters. And they both said it's fine, nobody's having any problems this time of year, so I've put my faith in these 2 people. I don't know them, but they're experts in passport applications, apparently. Well, they work for the post office anyway, so I've taken the risk of getting it via the basic online service. The basic online service is you fill out the forms online and then you send off a printout of the forms and your photos and your old passport. And hopefully they already have the information. It means it's quicker to come back. Let's see. There is another online service where you can digitally upload a photo too, but I didn't want to get too complicated with trying to take photos and going backwards and forwards. Originally we were just going to do the paper service, but my wife didn't read the instructions very well and got over the lines on just about everything. But apparently the most important thing you should never go over the lines on is your signature at the end of the form. So her form had to be trashed, so we went online. Anyway, I shall keep you up to date, and hopefully, I've got plenty of time. 3 weeks is the time they say it should take, and that's plenty of time, so hopefully I'll be fine. But I will keep you up to date, and you never know, in a month or so's time I could be crying on the show saying I've lost my holiday because my passport hasn't come back. But touch wood, let's hope that's not going to be the case. But when I'm actually on holiday, lots of things make me grumpy. I'm really not a people person. I've already mentioned hotel service and food, but of course, because I'm not a people person, people are high on my list too. If only I can afford to go away on my own little deserted island. Maybe one day. But if you're in a hotel and the other people are annoying you, you can escape somewhere. You can go to a different pool, you can go for a walk, you can go for explore elsewhere. But when you're on a plane, you're stuck. You're stuck with these people. So I have put together an air passenger etiquette list, which I I demand other passengers follow to make my life more plain, simpler and enjoyable while I spend 7 or 8 hours in a metal tube full of other people's wind. Right, so number 1, do as you're told. Get to the gate when it's open. Don't try and board before your row is called. And have everything ready for inspection. It's not rocket science to get through security to get on board the plane. Just read the signs that are around you. Just listen to what you're being told and don't think that you're special and nothing applies to you, because it all does. Number 2, don't block the gangway when people are boarding. Yes, I know the seat space is small, but just store your overhead luggage and sit down so people can get past you. And while I'm at it, don't pinch somebody else's overhead storage. If you've ignored the limits and you need more space, ask the flight attendant to help. Of course, this may mean having to put the luggage in the hold, but that's just too bad. You should have followed the instructions in the first place. And if it does go in the hold, ha. Number 3, wash. Don't wear a vest and don't use too much perfume. I was unfortunate enough to have a really smelly passenger next to me once. Really bad BO. And not only that, he was a nervous passenger.